nakatag more siya like the best show, and you guys were the best, and we love you.
This was Jungkook.
BTS sends shockwaves across Texas the night an entire state stood still. No one in Texas was prepared for what was about to happen. Days before the first note echoed through the massive stadium in El Paso, something unusual had already begun. Hotels were fully booked weeks in advance. Flights into the city surged. Highways grew busier than usual, with vehicles pouring in from neighboring states. Local businesses extended their hours, while street vendors stocked up, anticipating a wave of customers unlike anything they had seen before. The reason was simple, yet powerful: BTS had arrived. But calling it a concert would soon prove to be an understatement. From the moment the members landed, the atmosphere in El Paso shifted. Fans' army from across the United States and beyond flooded the streets. Purple became the city's unofficial color, seen in outfits, banners, and glowing lightsticks carried everywhere from cafes to sidewalks. The venue, Sun Bowl Stadium, quickly became the center of attention. By early morning, long lines had already formed outside its gates. Some fans had camped overnight just for a chance to be closer to the stage. Others simply wanted to be part of the energy. Local residents watched in amazement. Even those unfamiliar with BTS couldn't ignore what was happening. Something massive was unfolding, not just a music event, but a cultural phenomenon. As the sun began to set, the tension in the air became almost unbearable. The stadium filled rapidly, every seat occupied, every section buzzing with excitement. Chants started softly, then grew louder, until they merged into a unified roar that echoed far beyond the stadium walls. Inside, the lights dimmed. And in that moment, everything changed. When BTS finally appeared on stage, the reaction was immediate and overwhelming. The sound was indescribable, a wall of noise so intense it seemed to shake the very structure of the stadium. Among the members, one figure stood out as the crowd surged to an even higher level of frenzy: Jungkook. From the very first performance, his presence ignited something powerful within the audience. His movements were sharp yet effortless, his vocals clear and commanding. Every time he stepped forward, the volume of the crowd doubled. But what followed would take things far beyond even the wildest expectations. The moment Texas couldn't ignore. Midway through the concert, during a transition between songs, something unexpected happened. The music softened. The lights shifted. And Jungkook stepped forward, looking out across the sea of fans. There was a brief pause, a moment of silence that felt almost impossible given the scale of the event. 50,000 people held their breath, waiting. Then, with a simple gesture, Jungkook invited the crowd to move with him. What happened next would be remembered for years. At first, it was just a small section, fans near the front responding instantly, jumping, dancing, raising their arms. But within seconds, the energy spread outward like a wave. Rows upon rows joined in. Sections across the stadium followed. Until suddenly, the entire stadium was moving. 50,000 people, dancing in unison. A state freezes in awe. The impact wasn't confined to the stadium. Videos of the moment began circulating online almost instantly. Within minutes, social media platforms were flooded with clips, reactions, and hashtags. The phrase "Texas is shaking" started trending globally. People outside the venue, at nearby restaurants, hotels, even gas stations, began to notice the surge in noise and activity. Some stepped outside, drawn by the distant echo of music and cheers. For a brief moment, it felt as if the entire city had paused. Traffic slowed. Conversations stopped. Phones lit up with notifications as the moment spread across the internet. Texas didn't literally shut down, but the attention of millions shifted to one place, one event, one moment. Jungkook at the center of it all. At the heart of this phenomenon was Jungkook. He didn't just perform, he connected. His ability to read the crowd, to sense their energy and amplify it, turned a concert into an interactive experience. During that now viral dance moment, he didn't dominate the stage. Instead, he became part of something larger, guiding the audience without overpowering them. That balance is rare. And it's what made the moment unforgettable. Beyond performance, a shared experience. What made this night so powerful wasn't just the scale, but the unity. Fans from different countries, cultures, and backgrounds moved together, sang together, and experienced something that transcended language. It was no longer about individual performances or specific songs. It was about connection. And in that connection, something extraordinary was created. The aftermath, a global reaction. By the time the concert ended, the impact had already spread far beyond Texas. Clips reached millions of views within hours. Fans who weren't present reacted with disbelief, wishing they had been there. Industry experts began discussing the event, analyzing what made it so impactful. Was it the production? The crowd size? The artist's charisma? Or something less tangible, something emotional? The answer, perhaps, was all of the above. A night that redefined expectations. As the crowd slowly left the stadium, the energy lingered. People replayed the moment in their minds, trying to hold on to it. Some laughed in disbelief. Others wiped away tears. Many simply stood in silence, overwhelmed by what they had just experienced. Because nights like this don't happen often. Moments like this can't be recreated. They exist once and then they become legend. The legacy of that night. In the days that followed, one phrase continued to appear again and again. Texas was never the same. It wasn't about literal shutdowns or disruptions. It was about impact. The kind of impact that shifts perception, that leaves a mark not just on fans, but on an entire place. And at the center of that impact was BTS and Jungkook. What happened in El Paso wasn't just a concert. It was a statement. A demonstration of what music can do when it goes beyond sound, when it becomes an experience, a connection, a shared moment that unites thousands. Because in that stadium, on that night, something extraordinary happened. 50,000 people moved as one. An entire city felt the ripple. And for a moment, Texas stood still. The echoes of that night didn't fade when the stadium lights went out. If anything, they grew louder. In the hours following the concert in El Paso, something unusual happened. The streets remained crowded long after midnight. Fans didn't rush back to their hotels. They stayed replaying videos, talking excitedly, laughing, crying, and trying to process what they had just experienced. It was as if no one was ready to let the moment end. Clusters of army gathered outside the Sun Bowl Stadium, some sitting on the pavement, others standing in circles, their phones glowing in the dark as they watched clips over and over again. Each replay sparked new reactions, gasps, screams, disbelief. Did you see how he looked at the crowd? I still can't believe we all danced together like that. It felt like we were part of the show. And maybe that was the most powerful realization of all. Because what BTS created that night wasn't just a performance, it was participation. The viral storm begins. Within minutes, social media platforms were overwhelmed. Clips of the now iconic dance moment, led by Jungkook, spread like wildfire. Each angle showed something slightly different, a section of fans jumping in perfect rhythm, a wide shot of the entire stadium moving like a living ocean, close-ups of emotional faces caught between joy and disbelief. Hashtags exploded globally. Texas goes purple. Jungkook dance wave. BTS breaks the stadium. Millions of views turned into tens of millions within hours. People who hadn't even heard of the concert suddenly found themselves watching the clips on repeat, drawn in by the sheer scale of it all.